Alright, so I'm going ahead and shooting this right after the video that's already up. Basically, I just want to talk about, for all of you who've seen the movie and know what I'm talking about, I need to talk to you. We need to talk about this. There's just so many things that happened in this movie. So many things. I don't know where to begin. First off, I just want to apologize. I was really convinced that Finn was related to Lando, and I guess it's not true, or it could be, but they didn't say that in this movie. There was just so many things that happened in the movie. So many surprises that happened. And I would just be really interested to talk to you guys about everything that happened in the movie. First things first, I want to talk about, like I said, this video has spoilers in it, so if you don't want to hear spoilers, go see the movie and then come back and watch it. But we all know about what happens to Han Solo at this point, if you're still watching the video. And I knew it the second him and Chewie split up, and he said we'll meet right back here. I just knew it. I knew when he said that. And then the second Kylo Ren walks out and he goes on the bridge, my heart was beating so hard. I knew what was coming. I knew it. I couldn't believe that they were doing it in this movie. I didn't see it coming at all, and I'm so heartbroken. He's one of my favorite characters. I'm really not looking forward to not having him in the next Star Wars movie yet. It's really heartbreaking. I'm just so used to seeing Han Solo get out of things, and it was just so heartbreaking even the way it happened. I mean, he really believed. He really believed in, he calls his son Ben, which is actually very interesting, if you're into the expanded universe at all. But he legitimately believed that he was gonna let him live, and I'm sorry, it's really late right now, so I'm kind of tired and just mixing into the emotions, but it was tough. It was really tough. That being said, this movie is beautiful. You could really tell they put a lot of effort into it, and a lot of time, and a lot of, the props, the costumes, the puppets, the everything. It was just overwhelming to see the Millennium Falcon again. It took me a while to actually realize, oh my gosh, the Millennium Falcon. And when the credits rolled for the first time, I wanted to die. I couldn't believe that I was about to watch a Star Wars movie that I haven't seen yet. That there was a story about Star Wars that I had no clue what was going to happen next. It was just such a beautiful thing to see. So let's talk about the positive. I mean, obviously that's positive. I felt like they really did a lot of stuff with the old cast. You know, we saw a lot of the old cast members. That was a very positive thing. The story was pretty great, because what they did was they really hit on the notes of A New Hope without making it seem like they were copying A New Hope. It was like A New Hope. It had the same sort of, ups and downs. It had the same continuity, but in a different way, and it was actually very different from New Hope. So it was very similar, but very different, if that makes sense. And that really added to the story. Obviously, J.J. Abrams, writing and style obviously comes through with the humor of this movie, and there's a lot of humor to be had in it. And I gotta say, John Boyega, his character is he's hilarious. The dude was tripping me out the whole time. Him and Oscar Isaac's characters they were very funny. I really liked them. I liked pretty much all the characters. Honestly, I've never really been crazy about Adam Driver. First of all, he reminds me way too much of Anakin Skywalker. And honestly, the dude's kind of hard on the eyes. I mean, I don't want to come off shallow here, but I mean, if you're gonna be related, if you're gonna be the spawn of Han Solo, oh yeah, by the way, we'll get into that. But I mean, if you're gonna be the spawn of Han Solo, I mean, you're gonna be pretty good looking, you know what I mean? And this guy, he's very weird looking. I'm not crazy about him at all. I mean, like, whenever he's got the helmet on, it's great. When he takes it off, I'm like, just put the helmet back on, buddy. But yeah, pretty much called that one, that he is Han Solo and Princess Leia's son. Rey, I'm not sure about yet. I don't know who she's related to. I don't know if she is his sister or his cousin. She might be Luke Skywalker. Some people were talking about maybe she's Luke Skywalker's daughter, and that could make sense too. She's related to somebody, because she's very Force sensitive. And I honestly, at first, I was kind of upset with how quickly she learns the Force. But then I started thinking about all the old movies, about how quickly, I mean, Luke is literally he trains with Obi-Wan and Yoda for like maybe a couple of days, and he basically teaches himself the rest. So for her to sort of figure things out on her own, it actually isn't as far-fetched as it seems. I also liked how this whole time they've sort of pitched the idea that John Boyega was going to be the Force-sensitive focus of this movie, and actually it was her, and it was quite a well-hidden secret. I kind of thought in the back of my head that she's going to be Force-sensitive as well, but actually what John Boyega isn't at all, and she is the real focus of the movies, and I found that very interesting. I don't know. This movie, there was a lot of concerns I thought I was going to have with it, and it's funny because a lot of them just melted away. Even the little BB Bop droid, or whatever it was called, it didn't bother me as much as I thought it was going to. I still think it's a little too cutesy, and it's taking R2-D2's place way too much in the movie. But I mean, I don't know, it has a little charm to it, and with a little good writing, you know, anything's possible. So I'm pretty surprised by that. Seeing the new X-Wings and TIE Fighters was really cool. The Millennium Falcon, seeing all the corridors, everything. I mean, who doesn't want to see that? Who hasn't watched Star Wars and been like, I actually want to see more of what the Millennium Falcon looks like? Because it's hard to piece it together, you know what I mean, from all the old movies, and just to have some more of it. Oh, it was just, there was plenty of that in the movie. There was plenty of Han Solo in the movie. I'm gonna have to give it to him there. He was in the movie a lot, so that was a very, very positive thing. The new Death Star type thing, the Star Killer in this, pretty intense. Although they didn't really go into it too much. Basically, it just destroys multiple worlds. I didn't look into this, but I'm really interested to know what planets it blew up. I'm gonna have to look. I'm just talking about this right off the cuff after seeing the movie, but it looked like it blew up some pretty important stuff. I also liked how they talked about where the stormtroopers came from, how they're different now, and how Kylo Ren feels like they should actually be using clones. I thought that was pretty cool. I talked about a lot of the positive. Let me just talk about a little bit of what kind of worried me about the movie. First off, I wanted to see some more familiar aliens, you know what I mean? Like, you know, some Greedos in there, or some, like those guys with like the squid head. And really, there wasn't a whole lot of that. There was a lot of newer aliens that they're creating, because I know what they're going for. It's, we're doing our own thing now, we got our own stuff. That's great. But, you know, a lot of us who have grown up with Star Wars and very nostalgic about Star Wars, not coming to it for the first time, we really, I get a kick out of seeing that little stuff, you know what I mean? It makes me feel more familiar and like I'm actually in that universe, not in a different one. So that really helps me, you know, and I didn't like the fact that they didn't mix it in enough. As nostalgic and throwback as they were, which I thoroughly appreciated, I don't know, it also just felt kind of forced at times, and it also felt like they're really trying to be like, look guys, here's the old stuff, you know, so we can get the nostalgia out of the way now, we're gonna do. And I don't want too much of that, because, you know, what we really love Star Wars for is who it's about, right? So who it's about is Han Solo and Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker, right? And I just don't understand why we can't have an equal dose of both, and why it can't be about everybody, and it has to focus on these new people more than it has to focus on everybody else, when it could just be equally thrown around. You know, you can add new characters and not thrust the whole thing on them. I mean, I'm very interested about what's going on with the new characters, but I also, you know, I've always my whole life wanted to know what happens with everybody else. That'll bring me back to Han Solo. I was just not ready for that. It was too soon in this movie. It was just, I couldn't believe. I mean, I know why they did it. I was never more emotionally, like, what's the word? Like, emotionally struck. Like, I never had more emotions during watching this, and I had a lot of emotions during watching this, but I never had more than that 4-minute window of intensity where I was on the edge of my seat, knowing that Han Solo was about to die. That really got me, and I know the way JJ thinks, so I knew he was going to do it, and I also knew that that's why he's doing it. He's doing it to get that response out of me, and he's probably maybe even looking for a lot of people to be angry about it. I mean, I am angry about it. I'm very angry about it, but not in the way that most people are going to get angry about it. Most people will be like, he killed Han Solo, I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm not looking at it that way. It was a sacrifice that gave this movie a very emotional edge. I almost was walking out with almost all positives, and that instance made me think about the movie and made me think about the struggle and contrast I was actually having while watching the movie, and not getting too caught up in the fact that it's Star Wars, and actually thinking about it as a movie, which is, I don't know, it's an interesting way to think about it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I would really like to hear what you guys have to think about that too. It's such a big deal. There's a lot of people probably thinking he might be able to come back. I'm not thinking so. I mean, and especially because I know the way JJ thinks, I'm pretty sure that that's it for him. So yeah, that was a big negative part of the movie for me. And it's like, it was bittersweet. I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about that yet. Like I said, I wasn't crazy about Adam Driver per se. I don't think he did a terrible job, you know what I mean? But this definitely wasn't my favorite choice. But everybody else in the casting was great. I also would have liked to have heard some more of the original music, you know what I mean? They had a lot of it in there, but there was just certain points where I heard music and it kind of reminded me of Disney, and I was like, and I was so glad they didn't put the Disney castle before this. I was just so scared of that, because I'm so used to hearing the 20th Century Fox, then a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, Lucasfilm Limited before that, you know, and then it goes to and I was just so afraid they were going to do the little castle. I never saw the castle once, so that was actually really, really nice. Snoke. Who the freak is Snoke? My number one guess would probably be Darth Plagueis. You know, the action figure they came out with him a while back? Well, this one looks a lot like him. You know, he has some scars and stuff going on. I'm so, like, for the first, 10 seconds of him being on screen, first of all, I didn't even think they were going to show him in the movie, because you know how in the original trilogy, you don't even really see the Emperor in a hologram in the second one, and then you don't actually ever see him until the third movie, so I thought they were probably going to reveal him, so I was really surprised when they did reveal him. But, when they first show him, it looks like he's a giant, and I was like, oh man, what are you doing? No, we don't want the giant thing. But then he turns out to be a hologram, and of course that makes more sense, and I'm like, I mean, he still could be a giant, I don't know, but I would assume that it's just because the hologram's really big. Maybe he's like, hey, I'm important, my hologram's gonna be big, okay? But, yeah, honestly, I don't know who he is. I don't know if he's a Sith or not. I'm thinking that he was like the Emperor's master at some point, you know? Maybe he is Darth Plagueis, maybe he's not. I don't know. The scars would suggest that he's not seen a lot of good times in his life. I didn't really feel the First Order's purpose come through as clearly as, I mean, I don't know. They just didn't really talk about how they formed and whatnot. Hey, let's get to Luke Skywalker, okay? I'm just going all over the place, and I need to go somewhere with this video and end it soon. There's probably so much I could still talk about, but I'm just gonna end it with this. Let's talk about Luke Skywalker. I had a feeling probably about 20 minutes into the movie that we're not gonna see Luke Skywalker in this movie. I was like, man, we're not gonna see him. And I was almost right, you know, because then towards the end I started to remember, oh yeah, they did that filming in Ireland, so they gotta show him, right? So yeah, they ended up showing him. And for like 5 seconds he didn't even say anything, you know what I mean? He looks pretty good, but I just knew it. I was like, they're not gonna show Luke at all. I was so sad that him and Han are not gonna be able to see each other in this new trilogy. Oh, that's so terrible. I mean, I don't know, they could do like Ghost Han, but I doubt it. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I was really wanting to see Luke, and I was so glad that they didn't do it to us where they're like, we're gonna make you wait 2 years before you even get to see him. Like, at least we saw him. But then at the end of the movie, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be 2 years. It's gonna be 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, we think we have to wait a long time for The Walking Dead. You know what I mean? This is, it's another 2 years of excruciating, painful secrets and not knowings, and oh man. It's gonna be a rough ride, guys, but we're gonna do it. But yeah, I wasn't crazy about, you know, how they're kind of trying to muddle the old cast. I have a really strong feeling, you know, he's got the Obi-Wan beard. I have a feeling they're gonna do the Obi-Wan fate to him, and he's probably gonna die in the next one. You know, even though we just caught up with you, Luke. Don't die yet. Don't die on me, Billy. But I just have a feeling it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Oh, why? But anyway, guys, on the whole, a lot of mixed feelings, but overall I enjoyed it, and I'm really looking forward to the next one, and I'm really looking forward to the series and where they're going with it, and hopefully they don't ruin it. Also, I'm interested to see, now that J.J. Abrams isn't doing the next one, how the next one's going to turn out, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, I just want to thank you for watching. As always, like, comment, rate, subscribe. Like I always say, you don't have to, but if you did, that would be nice. Please leave comments below. I want to talk to people about this. I want to know what's going on in your mind. What did you think about the movie? What's your theories? Who's Snoke? Who's Finn? Who's he going to turn out to end up being? Rey? Is she related to Luke? Is she not? What's your theories? What's your disappointments? What's your praises? What's going on? What's going on? As always, keep those Punisher hats on. I'll see you later.